Piernov said that ITC Extreme is a good guy, except he buys his chips from Golden Chipset. Oh, come on. Like, where what do you have? I'm sorry, do you have, Piernov, do you have a supplier where you can just buy original graphics chips from NVIDIA and AMD that always work every single time? Really now? That is a lot of packet loss there. Yeah, look at that. Drop frames, drop frames. It looks like, yeah, unidirectional HDMI cable. I think I must have a unidirectional Ethernet cable. Alright. Audio sync. So here we have a MacBook. This MacBook, let's see what's wrong with it. Let's see what is wrong with this MacBook. This MacBook has absolutely no notes. I guess it says that they approved 425 plus tax, which is really what's important to me. The rest is trivial. Okay, let's see what's wrong with this MacBook. So we have a MacBook with no problem description. Let's try and figure out what's actually wrong with it. So when I plug it in, it's taking 50 milliamps. Now, 50 milliamps is no good. 50 milliamps means that it is dead. So I unplugged the battery because I don't want to see how much power the battery is using. I'm only interested in how much the board itself is using when it's not trying to charge a battery. And it's using just about nothing. So let's get the board out of the case and see if we find anything worth mentioning on this. This is an 820-3787 board. Yeah, Piernov, everybody does that. CIC does that. I've not found a single BGA supplier that doesn't bullshit. Which is one of the reasons that I just don't bother with BGA jobs. Wait, Kevin, what are you doing with that? Kevin! What are you doing with that?
Throwing it out.
Why would you throw it out when we can sign it and sell it? Okay, alright, check this out. Do you want a piece of Rossman Repair Store history? Kevin, can you tell everybody what it is we have over here?
Our employee-only section door.
Can you not hold it upside down, by any chance?
That's a good point.
Anel, can you get me a marker?
Yeah, this message from
Yes.
As you can see, employees only.
This is the door that we had from 2012. Why are we getting rid of it?
It's in the way.
It is in the way. This place is small. Can you get me a better color? Should I just use a marker?
You want a silver one?
This will do fine. Let's see. This is the door from our original construction in the end of 2011. It has been kicked many times, and I've also kind of smashed into it with a bafang.
Quality woodwork. Right here.
Okay, I need to add an exclamation point to the end. Can you tilt it a little towards me, Kevin?
Why don't you sign it as well?
I will color this in if somebody purchases it. Can you show it? Can you hang that up for our studio audience there? All right.
I can't see. I don't know if this is a good view or not.
Bidding starts at $20. Let the bidding begin. Okay, we need a. I know. I'll get a. Actually, I can just take a picture with this for the store site.
Steve, there's other plans for it.
What?
Yes.
Oh, you want to buy a fuck Apple door?
It's a billboard. We're gonna pay for that that $5,000 SSD recovery card somehow. All right. Let's get Kevin's modeling. Kevin, wait, smile.
I don't know how. Help me. Help me.
Oh man. Okay, we're gonna put this.
To the back it goes then?
Yeah. Can't believe you threw.
Oh shit, yeah.
We'll find a
Yeah,
we'll find a box. All right, that's gonna be expensive to ship, I imagine.
Oh shit, you got the... That's a nice ass lens. No, the lens.
I know. I've been waiting to get that for a while. It has perfect
And the
zoom.
light. Holy shit, that looks nice.
I know. It looks
Can I
very.
see how it looks?
You have to turn this monitor. Actually, no. I'll show you it on this monitor. Wait, where's my? Now I gotta find where my mouse went. Okay.
Doing something this one.
So check it out. So zooming. It's purely optical zoom. The only thing is I have to get this. I was gonna make 3 hooks in the ceiling and tie it with Cat 5. Because it shakes all the time. Look at this.
Wait, why don't you not...
The lens was $500 though, and the light was another 60. But it was worth it. The lens costs more than the camera. But yeah, you can show. I can show people
Move your
things.
hands off the table? Doesn't shake at all.
It's a really sweet lens, and that's a very low ISO. So and it's fast autofocus.
Oh, that's nice.
I know. I was thinking of getting one for the drive camera, but I think that 50 millimeters is going to be enough inside that really tiny space. Huh?
$500, that's...
I mean, after all that was spent on the SSD thing and all that stuff.
Boy, you don't spend more.
Yeah, but it's going to make its way back with stevesavers.com. Daniel J says, Kevin, blink twice if you're being held hostage.
You ordered from us, by the way. Make sure you don't charge him. Wait, you paid?
I paid.
Oh,
It's okay.
What happened?
We'll refund you. It's okay. Yeah, so just look at the zone.
Tell you, sex requirement. Thanks for all you do to combat Apple's BS practices. Thank you. I am going to take this board out of the casing while simultaneously adding that to the site at the same time. So one hand. Nothing if not a greedy capitalist.
You gave high keys to the store.
Yeah, I gave high keys?
Yeah.
He should have them on him, on his person.
He gave it to me because he's not coming back.
Oh, yeah, then I keep them on your person. You came and hi didn't. I think you deserve the key.
It'll be easier. Okay, so you have my number. Text me when the next time you can come in. I'll send you a send you a guide because you're done.
Alright, we're gonna put this. Fuck Apple Store door. Okay, this is an authentic. Oh, this piece of shit wireless keyboard is lagging.
Next time you come, I'll introduce you to everyone.
Unless I have it in just the right spot. Authentic.
So Monday, right? Okay, perfect. And whenever you get a chance, just email me.
I don't know if you wanted the plunger and the needle.
Okay.
What type of door is that? Folding door? It's not folding door. It's a sliding. Tigir, what do you call that type of door?
Give him an envelope.
Is that a folding door, a sliding door, a hinging door? What do you call that?
It was
That's a hinge. That's a hinge door.
Hinge door. Store hinge door. This is a.
Hey, sir. You can drop this side.
Senior members of store staff for the past 7.5 years.
Only with us.
I said you can drop this.
A swinging door.
Oh, you don't, you're not going to.
Swinging door.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
And for you, Daniel.
Door includes original hinges from 2011 construction, scuff marks from being kicked by Steve and Lewis every day, and
All good?
original, authentic
Yeah, I would hope you were kidding, but alright.
Lewis. Fuck Apple signature. This is being sold to fund This is being sold to fund 8,000 plus in SSD recovery equipment and lenses, cameras, and other stuff we will be using to record. SteveSavers.com. Data recovery videos. This is a fuck Apple door, not to be confused with a non.
Yeah. Looks like pig, right? Yeah.
This door will not function in a Genius bar.
Oh, thank
They are using it wrong. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said you. Oh, he. Oh, nice.
20
I'm
pounds.
like, oh, thank you. No, I fixed like.
Fuck Apple door.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's good. You can tell. Yeah.
This is going to be expensive to ship.
You stepped
Steve, how much is it to fit? Do you think it'll be to ship that door?
That shit
Yeah.
is at least like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, like 25 pounds minimum.
No,
Okay.
It was like 15 maybe. Something like that.
Okay.
Maybe 20, I don't know.
It's
Uh,
either you're strong or you're bad at.
I think it's pretty
you just-
clear which one it would be.
Put the label on the door and just ship the door without a box.
okay, images.
Oh, door. Let's see.
Now we have Kevin is modeling the door, so I'm going to find that picture and put it on the site.
Okay, listen. I
No,
don't
really, wait. Where's the door?
Hold the door.
There you go.
I am going to email myself that picture.
It's back
back.
there? Okay.
What is that?
It's in the
Alright,
back?
alright, yeah. Let's wait this. Let's wait this.
Alright, I'll do it.
Alright,
I'll see
cool.
ya.
See ya. Alright.
Here we go. Got a picture. See you later. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
We're gonna up. Are you really weighing the door?
Yes. Because he's a noob. He said the door was 10 or 15 pounds when it's 25, like I called it. Noob.
Door 1. Door 2. All right, we're gonna put some pictures of this door, so people gotta know what it is they're buying.
He was up by more than half.
We have a new $6,700 store to pay for, so I will literally sell the doors off of this place.
You left the DCM for that board you gave me?
Oh shit! Thank you.
Selling that too?
Do you have a Kevin? Do we have any Ziploc bags?
Yes, we have a lot actually. I'll bring some.
Okay, roll over for preview and categories. Did Hi add a meme category to the website? Sale, special sale stuff. Okay, we put that on the home page. Oh, skew. Fuck Apple. Piece of shit keyboard. I hate the fucking range on all these Logitech wireless products. Yeah, I mean, Logitech's supposed to be one of the best. I have to have the shit right next to the fucking computer. If I don't have that USB extension cord that brings the receiver right next to the transmitter, it doesn't work. Oh, God bless you, Kevin. Thank you so much. You're the best. I need these bags. I have plenty of bags under my eyes. No bags for this. Okay, so let's see if this made it to the home page. Yeah, this is gonna be some expensive shipping, I imagine. Fucking keyboard. Hate this thing. Why do you have to be right next to the damn transmitter to work? Alright, let's see. Online store.
In case it's preventing it. Yeah.
What? The picture's not showing up. Oh, mother flower.
Not the right size.
Okay. Oh, images. I didn't set them. Magento is this version of Magento is such a shit platform. Let's see. We got that. Which the one with Kevin in fear rather than the one of Kevin smiling is the one I'll go for. Inventory. We have one fucking door in stock, baby. In stock, there's only one door. Once that runs out, we're done.
Can you sell the sign?
I'll sell this.
Yeah, I was about to ask
Grab
that.
it.
Dude, until I pay back,
That
until we pay back the $8,000 SSD card shit, I will happily, I will sell the door off of the front of the store. Literally, I will be that cheap. Here we fucking go. Check it out. Fuck Apple Store door.
I see. That one's a lot lighter. Okay.
Okay, look at Kevin.
Oh, there you go. Wait, what do we call this? Just a sign.
Fuck. All right, this is.
Put
Now this is a fuck Apple Store door, not to be confused with a fuck Apple Store door. This door will not function in Genius Bar. They are using it wrong.
Steve,
What?
how much do you think that weighs?
I'll let you guess, and then I'll tell you.
I said local pickup only. You know what? Oh, I'll ship this. I will happily ship this door. So, special sale stuff.
10.
Can you give me the thumbs up? And look at Kevin's head. Kevin, put your head in there. Oh God, this is. No. Just your eyes though. Just like he has. See, yeah, just like that. There.
Everyone was science for.
Wait, Louis, take a picture.
Oh shit! I have to.
Well, no, take. You can't. This can't take picture. I'll take a picture for you.
Oh yeah, you can. Does it have an SD card in it?
Wouldn't you just save it to yours?
No, you need an SD card in there.
Oh.
For me to take a picture through this, I have to print screen. Actually, yeah, I could just print screen.
Why don't you just print screen?
Yeah, full screen. Here,
Kevin,
Kevin, come on.
come on.
Also, my keyboard doesn't work. I think I need new batteries for it.
You want me to give you my keyboard?
I need new.
I'll give you batteries.
Let's see.
Just shake them. It'll work now. Here, give me the 2 batteries. I'll do this.
What is my battery? That's. You piece of shit.
Activate Paul Daniel software.
Wait, so that's not
It's
the key?
good.
Yeah, that's a fucking piece of shit keyboard.
What? Here, let me bang it.
No, I banged it against the desk. Look, it's in pieces already.
Before me,
No, I beat you to it. I am Italian. Have you ever seen an Italian person try to set a VCR clock? That's the Fuhrer.
Who's this by the way?
Okay, so do we?
Just open a snippet to it for fuck's sake.
So but I can't see Kevin's face in there.
No, yeah. Move
Do we-
to the left, to the left. Well, you're right.
To the right, to the right.
Yeah, there you go. And normal eyes, Kevin. Don't. There you go.
All right, let's see how the picture came out.
Oh my God.
I don't think my keyboard actually hit print screen though. Yeah, this thing is a fucking
Here,
piece
let
of.
me give you one. Oh shit! Fuck it. Oh, you didn't break it.
Do we have another keyboard? Fuck that thing. That thing is pissing me off.
I got it.
Ugh. 15 pounds.
10 pounds.
You can't be wired.
Steve, 10 pounds.
Much? Can you plug in the back?
Yeah,
15.
I'll run it.
Oh my! How much cum is on this keyboard?
Not a lot. Just a teeny tiny.
What about you,
Just
Steve?
start
Is
right
this
now.
a small percentage?
Whoa, your fan is on high again. Holy shit.
I know, Enermax.
You gotta
That's
go
so.
fast.
Fucking internet. What? Heavy?
Oh no, I say 10 and now says 15.
Well, I didn't grab it.
One sec, I have to wash the cum off of this keyboard.
Yeah, that's probably between 10 and
Gross.
15, actually. You guys are on point,
Okay, where did my chat app
right?
go?
No, you to the left, you to the right. Go. Well, no, the other way was funnier. Alright, doesn't matter.
Okay, Anel's
TNL.
not present. You could always zoom out. Here, this is zoomed out. Okay, print screen.
No, look. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, print screen. All right, now we take a picture of that.
Dude, you guys look. The one before that was funnier though. I don't know what it was about it. But,
Yeah, that's good. You don't have to keep standing there. Okay, we have the sign. Picture. Yeah, we're gonna have to sign this. I've become such a.
no, it's glasses. You can only see the glasses. Oh god.
I will happily whore myself away to pay for that card.
All right.
All right, I will label
Put it in
this.
the basement. Do me a favor. Also with the door, because somebody's gonna buy it, so we'll just grab it.
Can I buy a fuck Logitech keyboard?
Wait, sell that actually.
Yeah, let's fuck it. A keyboard that Lewis threw at the wall. I'm using a Microsoft keyboard right now.
Huh? He sells half the stores.
I'm gonna sell the dust filters out of Steve's drive base.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Wait, why don't you sell the chair? Seriously.
The chair?
And then I'll get you. Yeah.
That's a. No, this chair got punched every time Lewis started doing a fuck Apple video, and this is all that is left of it.
Yeah.
This keyboard, I love this Microsoft 600C keyboard. It's just that this one is filled with what appears to be cum from somebody else's usage. How do you get this much cum on a keyboard? Jesus. Apple product users don't get this much cum on their damn keyboard. See ya. Thanks for everything. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Where is my spray bottle? I just put it down and now it's gone. Oh, fuck me. I have it right here. This is awesome. Now that, in all seriousness, that $8,000 for all that SSD recovery gear was a serious kick in the dick. But it's worth it for Steve Savers to take itself to the next level. Did you eat today, Anel? Are you hungry? Would you like to make a barter? I will get you any meal that you want of your choosing. Any caviar, filet mignon. Reverse that HDMI cable that I put the wrong way.
You were gonna make me do it regardless.
Yeah, but I figure you might as well get some food out of it. It's after 8. Make sure to wash the gigapole of flux out of that Logitech keyboard before you sell it. That keyboard has no flux in it. I have not wanked into it. It's the one that's in the port all the way to the left, the newly added one. So that cable has to get reversed.
You have it zip tied.
Oh, yeah, much cutting. And then re-zip tying. Okay, so back to what I was doing before I got distracted. Thank you, E.C. Morgan. I may not be able to get a business loan from the bank I've been using for over 10 years.
This is gonna be very
But I will happily. Oh. Oh yeah, it's a tide.
What are you doing back there? Huh?
Whoa. A man with his chest hair showing is behind me. Help! Help! No.
I need the.
Yeah, give me the cutters and I'll bring it out there for you.
You need a box cover? No.
The cool part about this is that I'll be able to turn on Steve's camera remotely. I'm going to get the remote thing for it. And I'll also be able to turn on and start streaming when he doesn't know. That's going to be fun.
What if he says something?
He won't know.
Fair enough, fair enough.
What Steve doesn't know won't hurt him.
No, maybe 2 inches bigger. Yes, I am bigger than my thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. See, the whiteness here. But if you're looking at me like,
Oh, it seems like this has product questions already. Yeah, I wanted to start with the Steve Savers videos today, but I couldn't. I should answer some of the questions that people had asked.
Why do you need it reversed anyway?
Because that's a unidirectional cable. What speed is the RAM? What speed is the RAM? This RAM is as fast as Apple is to tell you. This RAM is as fast as a genius talking you into buying another one.
I will never get you again? You sure?
This door swings both ways. It is 2019 after all.
You don't have paper back. You know it, right?
Yeah, I know.
There's just so much things on my desk. I know, right? You're not getting it.
Someday I'd like to not have to fix anything anymore and we can all just sell memes.
No, there's actually something in
Oh,
there.
Jesus Christ.
See that, my friend? I was showing you something. You're a good guy. Yeah, I would never do that to you. Never, never, never.
I think that's a good deal. Even if they're not great speakers, you got them for free, VG, so there's nothing wrong with free. Free is a great price to pay for something. Can you plug it into the port that it was in? And also take that battery out of where it's plugged in, because the battery in the camera that Steve's about to try is dead. And he's gonna ask you for a battery in about 9 seconds.
And battery is where?
Behind you, in the plug, in the wall. Behind you? No, the other behind you. That's in front of you. There you go, behind you. Okay, this is our board. Now we're going to plug it in and see what it does. Now that it's out of the case. Out of the case, it's still taking 50 milliamps. All right, let me know when it's plugged in. Oh, it works. Steve Savers, we have a second camera.
Let's see.
I'll put it on the main screen for you to see.
Oh, beautiful. All right. You're streaming to the...
Yeah. Can you? How is the zoom lens on it? That's the shitty, the stock kit lens. Yeah, that's the one that has after 50 millimeter, it's digital zoom, which is shit.
Wait, let me test it. Oh shit, I have names in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
No.
That's fine. Nobody will notice. We're gonna have to make aliases for all the customers so that the names in there don't get us in trouble. Piece de mierda. Oh boy. All I see is a cable. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, just your mat looks dirty as mine. How do you have that dirty a mat in the clean room? Can I get an iPhone 4 with that fuck Apple RAM? The Apple RAM is out of stock, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me know when you want me to turn it off. Let me know when you want me to turn it off. That's Steve's fire extinguisher you see right there. That's his collection of random stuff under his desk. There's a ladder next to his bench. He uses the ladder to jump on, to go to the top of it and then jump on Seagate drives. That's usually how we do the platter fixes. So, Somebody asked if the ladder next to your desk was to go to the top of to jump on Seagate drives. The people's elbow. Don't worry, I'm not going to spill anything on this MacBook. I'm professional. I'm a consummate professional. You need an ESD safe shop cat. Should we get a shop cat that has a grounding strip? Now we have to route that shit around here.
Hey, Liz,
Yes, what's up?
can you grab this stack of wire?
Which stack of wire?
Can you grab this loop?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just bring it towards you.
Oh, yeah, I have to move this around here. Uh-oh. How do I get... Okay, which end do I... Which end is the end that I pull on?
No, it's not that one.
Okay, the other end.
I'm gonna be pulling for a while, but...
Mother flower. Tomorrow, the Steve Savers videos begin.
But by the way, you're gonna have the big roll now.
Big roll?
Yeah,
What roll?
the big roll of cable.
You're the star. You're the roll. This is your roll. I'm going to send you a copy of the Vice contract for your role in this YouTube channel.
Wait, did you open the whole thing or no?
No.
Okay.
The excess should be kept over there because it's more likely we move the camera than it is that we move the computer.
Well, yeah, but I mean, opening that now is going to be a bunch of. It's the same difference.
What if we want to bring it to the office someday?
So you
Well,
open this side.
I can give out a lot of slack and then bring it over there.
Filthy MacBook.
Make sure, by the way, when you pull, you know, you have to be very easy.
Yeah, it's fiber optic, I think.
Yeah, you don't want to break it.
We can't have any bends. The speakers on my MacBook only work when it's cold. What's happening? The MacBook is saying it wants you to hold it. See you. If your MacBook speakers only work when they're cold, it means that your MacBook wishes to be held. Have you ever been on a date with somebody who pretends that it's cold when it's clearly not cold because they just want you to be more affectionate when you're being distant?
Oh.
Your MacBook wants you to hold it.
Oh,
So give your MacBook a hug and stop being a dick. Fuckface. Your MacBook deserves some attention.
how much slack do you want?
That's.
You should put the slack on that end.
I'll see it.
You see what you did, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, untie that. That's fine.
Also, as you can see, being the consummate professional that I am, I ate my potatoes and what was left of that food over this MacBook.
Yeah, I don't think.
I got 0 food and 0 liquid on the MacBook. That is the mark of a professional. When you send your MacBook here, I treat it professionally. Good night, Steve. Can you take a picture of Phoebe when you get home? Little Phoebe.
But no, I really need batteries. No, no, no. But I don't get you two in a row.
Okay, so let's take a look over this board and see what it is we have in front of us.
At the end of the day, which is what I do.
Good night, Steve.
Good night.
Picture of Phoebe?
Yeah.
Video of Phoebe? Video of Phoebe? Bastard. He has a little kitty cat named Phoebe, and he never shares pictures of it. The thing is, I have a kitty named Oreo, and Oreo is a very horny kitty. And Phoebe's a very cute kitty, so I'm thinking that I'm going to allow Oreo to visit Phoebe someday and do what Oreo does best. Okay, so we're going to, when I take a look over this board, yes sir.
Is this unplugged or no?
No, that's an extender thingy built into it.
'Cause, you know.
Oh, yeah. There's no noticeable marks of liquid anywhere on this board. There's a lot of pubes. There's a slightly above average amount of pubes. And as we know, pubes can harm MacBook. So there's nothing obvious here. So we're going to have to go and measure the power rails piece by piece and hope that we find something. I'm going to open up Paul Daniels' Abominable Software, and we're going to see if we can figure out what's wrong. So we're going to open up Paul Daniels' first piece of Abominable Software, which is the board view software. Then we're going to open up Paul Daniels' second piece of Abominable Software that reads the multimeter. Yes. We're going to turn the multimeter software on. Multimeter software is not showing up. Paul Daniels. Paul F. Come on, multimeter software, show up on the screen. Oh, dear God. Oh, Jesus. Okay, reset transform, you piece of fucking shit. Here, little multimeter software. Oh, good little multimeter software. Good little multimeter software. Okay, so we are going to go through the list of rails on this board. I got the little pieces in from my water cooling rig today. I just haven't had time to put it together. And I honestly have no idea how to put it together. So that's something that's probably going to sit here for a while. I got those little... Alright, so the first rail that I'm going to want to look for is PP Bus G3 Hot. It's the first on the list. Now, typically we go for PP3V42, but as can be seen here, we have a light on the charger. And since we have a light in the charger, PP3V42 must be present, because the chips that are going to allow the charger to talk to the SMC are powered by PP3V42, and the SMC, which is going to do the communication with the charger and negotiate it turning on the light, is also powered by PP3V42. So that cannot be our problem. So let's check and see what we get on our PP bus. Our PP bus. PP bus. PP bus is 12.6 volts. That's not our issue. Next up, let's see what we get on PP5ES5. There's a crazy person outside. And we've had voltage on PP5ES5.
820-3115, is that 1278?
Yes. Now let's see what we get for PP5ES4. PP5ES4 is 5 volts. Okay, this is interesting. Let's continue down the line. So we're going to continue down our list of power rails here until we figure out what it is that is missing. Now 20 volts, I'm obviously not going to look for. 20 volts from the charger, if that wasn't there, we wouldn't be getting anything else, so that's not going to be the issue. Linus said he would contact you about attending LTX. I would consider it, but I haven't got. I don't know where he said that, and I also haven't really spoke to him yet. Been very busy. If I can make it away from all the stuff here, I'd check it out. Are you getting the lease for the blue pill, red pill store? So first they said, oh yeah, 6,500, nah, 7,500. So then we had to go back and forth on that. We did. Now we're going back and forth on lease terms. So they're kind of interested in, it seems like they're interested in giving me one of those New York leases where it's like year by year, and then a few years later they throw you out and fuck you over. Once you've spent all the money to renovate it, after you spent all the money to renovate it, that's when they decide that, oh yeah, we're going to, oh, now that you made it look nice, we can turn it into a Chase or a Starbucks. Like, nah. So I am negotiating with them on that, because I don't want to do the work to make that place look nice and put because it's going to be an absolute minimum of $15,000 of renovating, if not maybe 30 or 40. So I cannot do that. If they are going to just, say year-to-year lease, and then next year it's $20,000. So we're working on that. Floatplane chat spammed invite Louis Rossman. I did not see that. I'm not on Floatplane. That is going to be a pain in the dick to renovate. Okay, so let's go back through our rails here. So this is quite uncommon. So typically when we have 50 milliamps being taken, or 40 or something like that, we have an issue with PM Sleep S4L missing, and here it doesn't look like PM Sleep S4L is missing because PP5ES4 is present. Imagine that. The power rail that's the hardest one to get showing up is already here on this board that I picked. Random. This is how this works here. Yeah. Alright, so PPVRTC, G3, whatever. Let's take a look and see if my clock voltage is there. Random. Random. Let's kick it. Oh, meter is off. Whoops. .3. That's what I would expect it to be. Yeah, I want a 10-year lease. 10-year lease or bust. Fuck out of here with that shit. You are not turning my place into a Starbucks or some fancy schmancy boutique retail store after I fix the fucking floor and the windows and the ceiling and make the place not look like a shithole. Nah. We will see. We will see. They seem like nice people. 3.3 volts on PP3V3S5. What do we get on PP3V3S4? Let's check out that rail. PP3v3S4 is going to be over here. Around. PP3v3S4 is there. PP3v3S3 is next. PP3v3S3 is going to be...
Take the board out of the oven, but be careful, it's kind of hot.
PP3v3S3 is there and steady. Okay, so let's check SO rails next. So where is PP3v3SO? Okay, so why is it we're not making it to an SO state? Why are we stuck in S3? Now, the next thing I want to do is an S3 rail missing? Because if any of our S3 rails are missing, we won't make it to an SO state. Remember, in order to get to an S5 state, all the G3 hot rails have to be present. In order to get to an S4 state, all the S5 rails have to be present. In order to get to an S3 state, all the S4 rails have to be present. And in order to get into an SO state, all the S3 rails have to be present. It's a pyramid. And G3 hot are rails that are always going to be on. S5 rails are rails that are going to be on when the machine is off. S4 rails are going to be rails that are on when the machine is hibernating. S3 rails are going to be rails that are on when the machine is sleeping. Hibernation is different than sleep because hibernation is suspended to disk, whereas sleep is suspended to RAM. It's a difference in how much power it takes and also how fast it comes back. And SO are rails that are on when the machine is in normal use, like this one. So I'm going to guess that either one of the SOs, the signals to turn on SO is missing, in which case this board is going to be a great job for Paul, or one of our S3 rails is missing, in which case it's an easy breezy random. And I fix it on stream, and then I edit out all the silly parts, and then I make myself look all smart. So let's see what we have on PP1v35S3, which is for DDR. It looks like we have what we're expecting. PP1v35 DDR mem, which is actually a different rail. Wow, we have quite a few rails here. Much railing. That's going to be over here. 1.36. CPU DDR rail is going to be on this capacitor.
Just give it to Lewis.
That is there. What's that? Oh, thank you. You're the best, Kevin. Make sure that when you go home that you're nice to your cat, Kevin.
Of course.
PP1v35S3RSO over here. Can I order that door from the EU? You can. It's just the shipping on that to the European Union is going to be abominable. It's going to be. They're going to sodomize you even more than your own government already does when tax time comes. And that's saying a lot. They are going to screw you harder than they would screw you if you were posting memes to Twitter. Again, it's... Okay, PP1v5SO. Okay, so we actually have an SO rail. Check this out. PP1v5SO is present, but we're still stuck at 50 milliamps here. So we got this. Okay, now we're going to figure out what SO rails are missing. So now I want to go back and see if PP3v3SO is actually missing. I don't think it was. I think maybe I was just mismeasuring because I'm an idiot, which is always possible, which is why I'm relying on people to buy a door that I kicked rather than my skill set to actually make money. So let's see what is going on over here. No, PP3v3SO is still missing. Okay, so now what I'm going to want to do is see if any of the other SO rails are missing, or is this just a case of one SO rail missing? And I also want to see what enables PP3v3SO, and just to see if that could be where our problem is. 1.05. Okay, so now I'm convinced that our issue is going to be something having to do with PP3v3SO. So I want to see where PP3v3SO is created. So there's going to be a lot of points on the board where PP3v3SO is. I need to find the point at which it's created, not where it's going into a chip. And this is something that's very difficult for a lot of the newer students that I've had to find, so I just kind of want to walk you through this. So when I say rail is missing, I want to find out the page in the schematic that's responsible for creating that rail. I don't want to see where it's going to something else. So for example, if my microscope camera, let's say this is not where, let's say that this was a charger that's powering 20 different things, not just my microscope. I don't want to see where this is entering, where this power is entering other stuff. I want to find where this charger is plugged into so that I can see if it's plugged in and work from there. So over here, this is PP3v3SO going to something else. This is not of interest to me. Going to somewhere else, all not of interest to me. Going to something, not of interest. Going to something, not of interest. Going to a CPU or PCH, not of interest. Going to PCH, again, all of this is not of interest. That's going to a capacitor, not of interest. Well, I want to see where it is coming out of, not what it is going into. That's it going to the SSD circuit. That's it's going to, yeah, more. This is it being used for pull-up resistors, for data lines. This is it being used to power chips. You see that little V plus on top of here? This little V plus on top of here is voltage in. Typically when you have ICs like that that start with U, on MacBooks, the way that they write the schematic is they will have power in on the top. It's different for schematics for PC boards. I mean for PC or laptop motherboards. Here we go. Okay, 3.3 volt SSD FET. That's for the SSD. I want to find the FET that creates it. PP3v3SO general. PP3v3SO GPU. Here we go. 3.3 volt SO switch. Bam. U7030. Let's check out U7030. U7030 is going to be under the RAM chip on the other side of the board. Now, it's going to get its voltage in from most likely PP3v3S5 or PP3v3S3. We're going to see where that is. Now let's look for U8030, and on balls A2 and B2, we're going to have PP3v3S5 coming in. Also notice one of the things that's going to confuse a lot of you, and rightfully so, is that it's called PP3v3S5 in here, but it's called PP3v3SO, PP3v3SO FET in the schematic. And in the schematic, this is actually going to be a subset of PP3v3S5. So this is an alias for PP3v3S5. So what do I mean by alias? So if we go to the power rails page again, yeah, the power aliases page, and we go to PP3v3S5, you will find that that is actually listed as a subrail. See? PP3v3SO, P3v3SO FET. That is actually listed as a subrail. So sometimes things are called a different thing on the schematic than they are in the board view. You have to be aware of that so you don't get confused. So what I'm looking for here is that voltage is going into the chip, it's being told to turn on, and that we're getting power on the output. Now, if you're unsure how to figure out when you have a no power problem or a rail missing what to do, I have a document linked. It's a Learn Logic Board Repair document. It's about 170 pages, but it's all, it's large pictures, large fonts, all that, so it's not a really difficult read that I'd highly suggest you go over because I walk you through how to troubleshoot these problems. So the way this is going to work when I look at this chip, the first thing I want to do is, before I blame the chip, because a lot of people are just going to blame the chip, is the power going into it. I cannot blame this microscope camera for not working if this is not plugged in. I need to know that the voltage is getting to it. The next thing I need to do is make sure it's working, it's being told to turn on. So I can't blame something like my Bluetooth headset for not working if I don't flip the switch on a little Plantronics Voyager I have. It needs to not only be receiving power, but be told to turn on, whether by a signal or by a physical switch or anything like that. And then the third thing I need to do is see, do I have a short to ground on output? Because if I have a short to ground on output, even if the chip is working, and even if the chip is being told to turn on, and even if it's getting its input voltage, we still won't get anything. So we're supposed to be getting this on these pins, and this attach. We're supposed to be getting PP3v3S5 on those pins, and that attaches here. So I will just check and make sure that that is present. .3. Next up is the enable present. So I'm going to check and see if our enable is there. And that is on the on pin right there. So that signal is going to be present over here. So the chip's getting its input voltage, but it is not being told, actually never mind, it is being told to turn on. So we are getting 3.2 volts there. So this chip is getting its input voltage, but it's also being told to turn on. So now we have two options here. A, the chip is bad. B, there's a short to ground on output. We're going to put the multimeter in ohms mode, unplug power because you cannot have power going to the board when you're looking for this, and then we're going to see if this works. And no, I don't read Twitch chat. I never read your chat. F you. I can't read chat while I'm explaining something into a camera. I'm sorry. Multitasking is hard. We were supposed to have HAKKO show up this week because he had spring break to be the assistant. And did he show up? No. Because that's what HAKKOs do. They don't show up. So. We don't have tax time. Only the U.S. is so backwards that it forces citizens to work out how much they owe. No, only the Europe is so backwards that they think it's okay to take more than 50% of somebody's money. I am not living someplace where you try to take 55%. Fuck you. You want to come to my business, help me fix boards, deal with douchebag customers, and help me renovate my basement? Sure, I'll give you 55%. Other than that, fuck you. Oh, Europe. Oh, Europe. Okay, so let's check out PP3v3SO. I can see PP3v3SO and... Don't call Lewis dad, he doesn't want to pay for child support. Lewis is not dad. What's the difference between people with crowns next to their names versus swords and nothing? I have no idea. The command door has been added successfully. I will buy next Uber car door you run into on a New York bike lane. I'll have to take it with me. So that's the thing. I have to get something on my bike that will actually allow me to take that. But that would be cool. He aggregates all the chats into one. Yes, I do. And I'm behind on it while I'm working. Hi. Okay. Now, we take this. Duke lives in Holland, and he was showing me what he was paying in taxes, and it made me want to throw up in my mouth. Oh, it just made me want to throw up in my mouth. It is a sad thing to be a slave. Okay, so... So we have a 0.5 ohm short to ground on PP3v3SO. We don't have to buy health insurance. Scam. Okay. So here's where we start doing some math. I'm gonna open this in Notepad. So let's say that I make. Okay. Let's say that I have a 55% marginal tax rate of a certain amount. Okay. Let's say that somebody makes $100,000 a year. We're gonna do some quick back of the. Display capture. All right. Some back of the napkin math here. Okay, 100,000 times 0.55. Let's say that your tax rate is this. So let's say you're keeping this much. Okay. So the formula to figure out how badly you're getting owned would be to do the difference between this.
How can I help you?
Let me get my calculator actually.
What's up?
So, do you know why is the battery is not the can
Okay, so you get to keep 45. Now let's say, this is just back of the napkin math here. So,
I have another story.
okay, so the difference. So this equals.
Then it might be an issue with either the board or the charging port.
Display capture.
Can you help me to check maybe in there, or maybe my battery is a problem. Maybe you can check that.
Okay, this is 45,000.
Well, we wouldn't be able to test
This
it
is gonna be
if we're closed.
65,000.
Maybe you can just last the change to. I can see that this will work in
You want
there.
me to plug it into a charger?
Yeah. I have
Now,
the charge, but
Okay, so the
no
difference
working.
in taxes here is about $20,000.
Do you have
So
you have the
difference
charge, maybe because my charge
between
is,
taxation
you
and
are USD,
here
USD
versus
is,
Duke
electric
getting
power
raped
is the difference.
and
So
raped equals $20,000 difference, right? So now what you have to do is calculate
your charge
insurance.
is, work.
Insurance plan. Now, I used to sell healthcare for Atlantis. For $3.99, you would get a kick-ass plan that covered just about everything, very low deductibles. Even if you wind up getting cancer, and you were like, even if you wound up getting cancer, I actually used to be certified to sell healthcare. I remember walking around with my Guido haircut back when my hair was combed backwards. Let me show you a picture of that. You're gonna laugh. Check this out. This is my license here. Oh man, I'm gonna regret showing you fuckers this picture. So this was me with a Guido haircut. Staten Island Guido haircut.
I don't ask if I want to buy the
That was me.
second
That was me.
use the
I hadn't grown out of my Guido phase yet. So I remember walking into this one small office and they said, "What are you selling?" And I said, "Drugs and protection."
no.
It didn't work. I got a laugh, but nobody bought my health insurance. Anyway, so I was a health insurance salesman for a short period of time. So for you can get a shit plan for like $2.99. For $3.99, you got the actual, like the good one. This was a while ago though. So let's say that prices have changed. Let's say that you're getting fucked now and you're paying $5.75 after the ACA fucked it up for all the people who are don't have pre-existing conditions. So let's say you multiply that by 12. So we do difference between Europe. Taxes in here is $20,000. So $20,000 minus 575 times 12. So 575 times 12. $6,900. So let's do some basic math here. So 575 times 12. So 60. Okay, so 20,000 minus 6,900. Free healthcare. Free insurance. It's included. Now, granted, you get free primary school education, so do I, and you get free college. Okay, fine, free college. I didn't go to college because I don't really need to go to college to do this. Maybe it's different for you than it is for me. Maybe, if you are really unlucky and you bought the shittiest insurance in America and you got cancer at age 21 while on no insurance or uninsured in America, fine. For me, nah. Free shit's too expensive. That shit's way too expensive. That's my math. That was back when I used to comb my hair backwards. I stopped doing that because because my hair is, everybody in my family, even in their age 70s and 80s, their hair is ridiculously thick. And when I comb my hair back, it would get to this point where I actually could not physically put the comb in it. Even if I took a shower and used shampoo and everything, and used conditioner, the comb would not physically go all the way through my hair. It was a royal pain in the ass. And it would also start itching. In the summer, I'd be warm. So I comb it forward. I probably should go back to that hairstyle and go back to the Guido accent. We sell drugs and protection. Our healthcare is cheaper than Europe. It's fucking great. No, it took work to get rid of that accent. Like a good 10 years of effort to not sound like I was born on Staten Island. Okay. But yeah, free education, free. Again, when it comes to that, when I was going to community college, it was costing me about $5,000 a year, right? So again, you go back to this thing. Now again, you may hear all these people paying like $30,000 a year, or $80,000 a year, or $150,000 a year. That's because they bought into the bullshit that you have to go to some super fancy schmancy school to be successful. That like there's something wrong with going to community college. It's bad to go to LaGuardia or CSI. What's up?
You want to test if this works?
Oh, I'm sure it does. Okay, fine. I'll check. Is it on?
I gotta plug it in.
Oh yeah, plug it in and I'll see. Yes.
I'm gonna leave,
See you later.
Guys, no, make sure all the lights and stuff in the back go off, alright?
Yeah. So I was without financial assistance, without applying for all the shit. I was paying. It was about $5,000 a year for college. I'm talking even getting raped in the textbooks and everything. You can kind of sometimes try to use last year's books, but they purposely try to fuck you and make you buy the new books. They don't actually change anything in the book except for the order of the answers and the questions, so that when you submit the homework to the teacher, you get all the questions wrong, even though you're learning the same shit. Camera works. Thanks, Anel. So what do you want to get to eat? Filet mignon, caviar, whatever you want. It's on me. Deal's a deal. So let's say that you get your free education. Again, unless you're going for the highest end school, maybe you're trying to, med school, doctor or shit, the average person, $20,000 will get them through college. If you really want the bells and whistles, $30,000. So if you are getting raped in taxes an additional $20,000 a year, how many years? Okay, yeah, in America you paid for your college, but how many years do you have to work to make up for what it would have been to get your free college, but get raped in taxes in that country? That's the question that I would have. If I could go to college for $20,000 to $30,000, but I save $20,000 in taxes by not living in a country that rapes me in taxes, do I really give a shit that the college was free? Now, again, do I think that the American system, where they tell kids, it's definitely good to go to this prestigious school, it's definitely worth it to put yourself $140,000 in debt to have a piece of paper that nobody gives a shit about, is good? Absolutely fucking not. I think it's disgraceful. I think it's disgusting. I think the school administrators and the deans who essentially make all of their decisions based on what will get them a new car should be just beaten in the nutsack with a bunch of pointy, sharp JTAG connectors. I think it's disgusting. I think it's awful. And my heart bleeds for the fact that there are so many kids that got tossed and that got lied to and told that if you do this, this will make you more money. This is the path to success. You have to pay $150,000 for your diploma. And no, where do you go to college?
City Tech.
Yeah, how much is it?
$3,000 a semester.
$3,000 a semester. Yeah, you're not going in debt $100,000 to go to school.
No, my mommy.
Okay, your mom. Yeah. So $3,000 a semester. So that's okay. So you're going to pay $24,000 at the end. Yeah, 6,000 times 2 times 4. So for a bachelor's degree, you're going to become an engineer for $24,000. The difference in taxation between where Duke lives and I lives for a six-figure salary is $20,000. So this is like buying a cell phone. This is like when people spend. You could either get the fucking $150 Verizon plan, or you can get the who's the cellular company that resells them? Cellular, I forget, Page Cellular. I forget, whatever the fuck it is. You can either pay $150 a month for the plan, but get a $200 phone, or you could pay $600 for your phone, but get a $50 a month plan. Like, it's not fucking free phone. You're not paying $200 for your phone. You're getting raped every single month for your service in order to get that cheap phone. If you simply purchased it up front, you'd be better. Now, here, no, that shit is not free. It's like, fuck, god damn.
Thanks for the offer. I just wanted to
You don't want food? Okay, tomorrow. Are you gonna be? When's the next time you're here?
Wednesday.
Okay, on Wednesday you get whatever you want to eat.
Alright.
Thank you very much for the help. Something fancy though. He helped me hang the cable and then he left. U.S. Cellular, that's the one I'm talking about. Use the U.S. Cellular. And that's the thing, I don't mind if taxes pay for it. If you want to do that, that's cool. That's okay. Go for it. I don't care. Organize the way that you do business as you do. But when you say, well, no, here I don't have to pay for it, you're just lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're making this shit up. I'm not saying U.S. healthcare is good. I sold it, and I was very bad at selling it. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's a fucked up ass system. But yours is too. So, yours is too. Okay, back to this. Oh, and the other issue with healthcare in the United States and why it looks funnier is that America is one of the most fucked up countries when it comes to people's personal health. I'm not, we may lead in a lot of innovations when it comes to coming out with new drugs, but the way people treat their bodies in America, at least to the immigrants that I've met, is disgusting. So when I meet immigrants from whether it's the Middle East or Eastern Europe or Western Europe or Russia or China or Korea or Japan or South America, the immigrants that I meet from other countries are made physically ill when they see how Americans eat and how Americans treat their bodies. So that kind of skews the results. So we treat ourselves like America has more Arby's, McDonald's, Denny's garbage per square mile than I'd imagine any other country when it comes to places that will celebrate you treating your body like trash. So that's something that you got to think about. Anyway, back to this. How does Duke feel about it? That's a fun one. I should actually get him on at some point. Basil, that's a little into the conspiracy deep end, but I get it. 15K loans for BS in physics, ended up coding with skills I learned outside school. Yeah, that's another one. A lot of college is, I don't think for many things that college is the way to do it anymore. My internet is cheaper and better than US. Oh yeah, you're a lot of European countries just they beat America so bad when it comes to internet. A lot of American internet is trash. If you have FiOS available in your neighborhood, you're good. If you don't have FiOS available in your neighborhood, Europe is going to kick your ass. Yeah, let's see. What do I have in here? Let's see. How many people did I get to rage and lose the stream from that? That's the thing. I don't mind if other countries do things differently. I guess what pisses me off is just hearing Europeans on their high horse talk about how everything is perfect. They're like everything is perfect. We have no problems. Everything is just beautiful and great here. Like, no, it's fucking not. You have problems like every other area. Europe has problems. Russia has problems. Japan has problems. Canada has problems. United States has problems. United States will talk about their problems. We'll argue about our problems. We'll scream about our problems. In Europe, I just see a lot of people claiming, oh, this is totally fine. There's nothing wrong here. As there's like a fire burning around them. Publicly funded pensions should be constitutionally forbidden. That's a big issue. I'm not against pensions, but I am against people promising somebody a pension that was not funded properly and then leaving it for the next generation to figure it out once the politicians that promised it are long gone. That's fucked up. What did you learn from selling door-to-door insurance? I learned from selling door-to-door insurance that I would rather jump off a bridge than be a door-to-door salesman again. That was 2008. I was fucking desperate back then. I had quit working for Avatar Studios to work for a smaller one. The smaller one that I worked for went out of business. A lot of the clients that I remember, I forget if it was Clinton Studios or Bennett Studios. I forget which one it was, if it was Clinton or Bennett. But I remember them putting toothpicks in the console. And I had this skill that I had worked so hard to get of repairing old recording studio gear. They were putting toothpicks in the Neve VRP. This is a $500,000 console, a room that they're charging $2,000 to $3,000 for. And they're putting toothpicks in the bus switches because they can't afford to have a technician fix it. So I was fucked up in the game, very out of money, and that sucked. And so I decided to try to sell healthcare. It sucked. It was awful. Being a salesman for something that you don't believe is the best option for somebody sucks. I'm not saying Atlantis was bad, the worst healthcare, but it wasn't the best option. And their mentality at Atlantis Healthcare, which pissed me off, was the reason you are here looking to sell our healthcare is because you have clearly fucked up at trying to get every other job. Since you have fucked up at trying to be successful in your own life, we will teach you how to be successful. And they would kind of brainwash you. So I remember there was this old guy who was even more of a Guido than I was at the time that was running the company who, he was a salesperson. He wrote many books on sales. He had a cocaine or heroin addiction or something that he got over, and now he's a health insurance sales guru or whatever. And he said something like, if you were to walk up to somebody and ask them about healthcare, you probably feel weird or awkward. You're like, I can't do that. But if you walked up to somebody and I said, here's $200, and they said no, would you feel crazy or would you say they're crazy? And everybody's like, well, they would be crazy. And he's like, okay, so why is it that when you're saving the money on their healthcare that it's not the same thing? Well, because you're not fucking saving the money on your healthcare. You're not. What if they have a better plan? What if their plan covers shit that the Atlantis plan does not? What if it's not that they don't want the $200, but they just don't want to waste the time figuring out if all the doctors are going to be the same? They don't want to do all the research because it's better to them to pay $20 a month extra to not have to have their time wasted. And I just couldn't believe that. I couldn't get into the mindset of, if I was walking up to you and saving you money on healthcare and you said no, am I crazy or you? You have to be really fucking brainwashed to be that type of salesman, and I couldn't do it. And also, I'm a shit salesman. I'm an awful... for some reason, I'm really good dealing one-on-one with customers who come in. I can sell a repair to virtually anybody, regardless of how paranoid they are. I could sell repairs to people. I could sell drive data recoveries for $1,000 when my wall looks like this. I'm a good salesman at what I do. But I am not a good salesman for healthcare, and I'm definitely not a good salesman when they have to really indoctrinate you into it to do it. In Canada, college sucked ass, not worth what I paid. And I still got my Ace Ridge reamed and honed with income taxes. Basically, it got it both ways. Yeah. And Atlantis, there's stuff that I can't really get into because I'm fairly certain I signed a non-disclosure agreement. I got to look up whether they're still in business. But let's just say I'm not going to say that healthcare companies are they're just the greatest stuff in the world, and I don't get why people want single payer healthcare. I get it. The health insurance companies say and do fucked up things, and they are willing to openly say and do fucked up things within the office. Because I was wondering, why did I have to sign this non-disclosure agreement? And the reason I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement is then I would hear the things that would be said at the office and be like, oh. So I'll look that up, because if they're still in business and a multi-billion-dollar company, it might not be good to break a non-disclosure agreement by repeating some of the things I heard. But I get it. Like private healthcare is there's a lot of fuckery going on there. Yeah, I couldn't sell that shit. NDAs typically expire after 3 years. I also have to look it up because I used to keep a journal at the time, and I want to see if my journal that I kept is still there. Because this is 11 years old at this point. I believe I quit that job in October or November of 2008, right before I started this business. So I started doing this around right before my birthday in 2008, right before I turned 20. Single-payer healthcare means you wait 6 months to 2 years for badly needed surgeries. Ask me how I know. Well, it depends who you are, because there are some people that actually... Here's the thing with single-payer healthcare. There are people that get surgery that they would have never been able to afford in a timely fashion, and then there are people that don't get that available to them, that do have the money to pay for it, that then get fucked. It's always a trade-off. There's always a trade-off. You got in America, there are a lot of people that don't get surgeries or procedures they need because they can't afford it, or they have shit insurance that won't cover it, or blah-de-blah-de-blah. There's always a mixture. Every system has its ups and downs. That's the primary thing that frustrates me about the way that Europeans will discuss their system, is they discuss it as if it's just fucking perfect. It's like the way Apple discusses their machines. Like, a small percentage of users may have... No, it's not a fucking small percent. A small percentage of your taxes? No, it's not a fucking small percent. It's the way the Genius Bar will talk about the item that you have. I'm sorry that you're experiencing issues because of how you use it. It's just that kind of... snootiness to it that pisses people off. Anyway, I really got to get back to this board and figure out why PP3v3SO is missing, and I can't go on bitching about Europe anymore, because that is indeed a waste of time. I'll just I'm just going to wait for the entire Brexit clusterfuck to ruin the economy. We will go in and buy it. We will call it. We will call it. Great Britain? No, we will call it Excellent Britain. United Kingdom? What do we call it? Freedom Britain. We'll call it Freedom Britain. FB. Yeah, we'll go in and buy it after it's all destroyed from No Deal Brexit. Atlantis Healthcare, headquartered in Cranford, New Jersey, is still around. Looks like they would enforce their NDA. Yeah, in that case, I'm glad I didn't say anything. Numerica. Yeah, we will buy. Yeah, because once France is done setting their country on fire and all the yellow jacket shit, once No Deal Brexit is done and business owners have all applied for refugee status because they don't even know if they're allowed to transport goods from one country to another country without going through armed guards, we will go in. Numerica, New Texas. We'll buy it. We'll pay. We'll rebuild everything from scratch. It'll be great. But anyway, until that happens. Let's figure out why PP3v3SO is fucked on this board. Okay, so we need to find the component that is shorting PP3v3SO to ground. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look on this board at everything that is on the PP3v3SO line. You know, a lot of American sob stories about healthcare are people who do want to spend money on insurance and cry about how unfair it is. Yeah, that's a part of it. But there's also a lot of people that genuinely can't afford it. You know, when I was making $500 a month when I first started my business, you think I'm going to be paying $300 a month for healthcare? Hell no. $400 a month of that rent was already going to a house that was filled with fucking termites. I get it. Every system has issues. We all have problems. We all got to work to solve our problems. Just don't pretend that your system has no problems. So let's see if we could find out what looks shorted. So I'm going to open up this board view software. We're going to click on PP3v3SO, and I'm going to look at everything on this board that has a path to ground. Unfortunately, there is a lot of stuff on this board, so it's going to be difficult to figure out what is shorted, which means I may be able to get this done faster if I just stop being a lazy bum bitching about Europe and get up and get my thermal camera. The honest reason that I am just going on about Europe as much as I am is because I know I need to get the thermal camera for this board, which means walking to the back of the store. And I'm being a lazy bum. I don't want to walk to the back of the store. I want to complain about Europe. If I complain about Europe, I don't got to get up. Oh, man. So you'll see here that there's a bunch of stuff that PP3v3SO goes to. So I'm probably just best off just using the damn thermal cam. So let's take a look through the board one more time and see if there's anything that's obviously burning before I go ahead and shove 3 volts into this with thermal cam. We can complain about New York becoming Europe. New York is a cesspool in and of itself. It's really interesting. Somebody pointed out, there was this one guy that I became acquaintances with a while ago, and he was an immigrant from Iraq, and he said, you know, I find it interesting that of all the things you were able to do to my countries, what did he say? I'm trying to remember the exact line. Of all the things that your military did to my country, I'm just happy that you treated our roads better than you treat New York's. I'm never going to forget that shit. He said, as for all the things that your military did to our country, I'm glad that you treated our country's roads better than you treat New York's. Fucking dude came from a war zone in Iraq. Just bombs going off all the time, mines. And he thinks the roads in New York are shittier than the roads there. It's fucking pathetic. Oh, man. Okay. Let me know when you see something that looks burned. Yeah, Mal, the UK is not necessarily as bad when it comes to taxes as some of the Eastern countries. I am talking about, I'm basing this on the discussions that I had with Duke, and Duke lives in Holland, not the UK. So the criticism that I would have of the UK is not as so much the tax thing. I would have that of a country like Holland. My criticism of the UK is the fact that the no-deal Brexit thing looks like it is designed to just make every one of your business owners apply for refugee status in another country. We are a hated class by our politicians. It's sad. I shouldn't be laughing. But and also, when the person who suggested you watch Sargon of Akkad, if you do live in the country and you've paid taxes in the country and you've gone through the systems in the country, I imagine that you would know more about your own experience from listening to your own experience than you would watching a commentator on the internet. And that's the thing. I can understand why people wanted to go for Brexit. I really do. I can understand both sides of the argument. It's just, I'm not saying I'm for or anti it. I'm just saying that the way that it is being implemented by your politicians is disgusting. And I feel bad for you because I don't think that what you're getting is what anybody on either side actually voted for. You did not vote for this much of a clusterfuck. Also, I think E.C. Morgan may be watching a few too many of the people. It's like you're watching too much of the stuff that demonizes people who think like you. So then it makes you reactionary, and it makes you think that everybody is going to be demonizing you for who you are. Everybody, just step away from the MSNBC. Step away from the step away from the Don Lemon. Step away from the Sean Hannity. Step away from all these people and just breathe in, breathe out, talk to each other, work to solve problems, talk to each other. Stop paying attention to people. Here's the thing. Stop paying attention to people who actually profit off of making you anxious, or people who profit off of making you think the world is a worse place than it actually is. Most of the people that you're watching, I think the thing that pisses me off about most political commentators is that they are monetizing. They are monetizing making people think that the world is a more black and white, a more aggravated, and a more tense place than it actually is. If people are not at each other's throats, there is not something to tune into every day. There is not something to argue about. It's like with Howard Stern. You know, with Howard Stern, people who liked Howard Stern listened for 30 to 45 minutes. People who hated Howard Stern listened for 45 minutes to an hour. People who watch the news and see happy shit or, you know, just normal stuff, maybe watch for 20 minutes. People who are watching the news because the news is telling them the people on that other side are coming to fuck you and they're going to enjoy it and they're ruining your life and they're ruining your systems and they're ruining everything. And then you're going to tune in for an hour or 2 or 3 hours. And a lot of those, it doesn't matter which side. It doesn't matter which one you're watching. It doesn't matter if you're watching the short-haired chick on MSNBC, whose name I forget right now. It don't matter if you're watching Don Lemon. It doesn't matter if you're watching Anderson Cooper, who actually goes to my gym, by the way. It doesn't matter if you're watching Sean Hannity or Tucker. Like all these people, they profit. They make a lot of money off of making you believe the world is worse than it is. Because the thing is, I live in New York City. I talk to a lot of people who are very left-wing liberal individuals who would disagree with me on virtually everything. We get along. We can like say, okay, we disagree on this and that, but we both want this thing to occur. I just think it'll happen this way. You think it'll happen this way. Yeah, okay, let's compromise. What are your issues? What are my issues? What are you worried about? What am I worried about? But when you hear about this shit on TV, they just make it sound like the world is ending. The sky is falling. And they profit from that. They make more money. YouTube political commentators and social commentators profit greatly from making you believe the world is shittier than it actually is. Just fucking get away from that shit. They stop making money if you think that the world is not shitty. Go outside and talk to somebody. Alright, next. So... Alright, so we are going to inject some voltage into PP3V3 SO and see what gets warm. And since I don't have a large thing to put it to, I'm just going to cut a wire up and solder it directly to the board. I'm going to send 3 volts to it and see if it gets boiling hot. So let's see if we have a large item that I can check for PP3V3 SO. Yeah, E.C. Morgan, that's the thing. They assume that about you, and that's got to be... But it's a very trigger-happy society now. It's because both sides of people are at each other's throats all the time. Like my trainer was saying, he was, somebody asked what kind of podcast he listened to, and he said, I enjoy the Joe Rogan show because he doesn't interrupt people, and even if you don't agree with what people say, you can get a 2 to 3 hour discussion with all different types of people. And she said, so who are the people he's had on his show? And he said in the last week it was Alex Jones and this other person. And my trainer actually does not like Alex Jones. He fairly dislikes Alex Jones. And the woman immediately just turned around and stopped talking to him because she made the assumption. It's not jumping to conclusions. This is fucking flying into the stratosphere with them. This is jetpacking into it that he was an Alex Jones fan and therefore was evil and hated women and all this other silly horse shit. And I've also assumed things of people that I shouldn't have based on them saying certain things that would lead me to believe they thought a certain way when they didn't. You know, it's poison. It's cancer. It's awful. It's terrible. It's bad shit. Bad shit. Just cut the shit. My trainer and I disagree on almost everything. We can still have good discussions. If anything, it helps me trick him into giving me double sessions, because, you know, political or social argument here or there, and what do you know? I got an extra hour added to my workout. Don't anybody tell him that, though. He's going to be pissed if he figures out doing that. Okay, so PP3V3SO is found over here. I can solder to that over here. He probably already knows, though. It's not that I try to screw him over. I don't know, I enjoy good social and political discussion every now and then with people I think are intelligent. Someone says, I consider myself on the right, but I enjoy Kyle Klinsky and Jimmy Dore. They make good points. Yeah, I like those guys. I disagree with a lot of what they say, but it's not... okay, granted, they're also, don't get me wrong, they're lining their pockets off of telling you how crap a lot of things in the world are as well, but at the same time, you know, I'll take that shit over MSNBC and Fox any day. Somebody mentioned Rave Dubin. There was this one woman from the NYU editorial board or something that was on Joe Rogan, I think like 4 or 6 months ago, and Jimmy Dore just went through that interview and just like stuck at it. Just, oh man, he owned her so hard, and she earned being owned, by the way. She clearly earned it by saying some of the stupidest shit that you could imagine. I like Jimmy Dore. I mean, I don't know him. I haven't watched everything he said. Fox is up there. Game in the past years is pretty solid. I don't think so. Again, in Fox, MSNBC, CNN, it's like watching wrestling and hearing you're listening to an announcer that clearly has that is rooting for one side to win. It's not news. It's wrestling. It's pro wrestling. It's drama. So CBC in Canada is basically CNN with that Canadian we are more intellectual smugness. I understand that they treated you well, though. Oh yeah, they treated me well, but at the same time, I understand why people could have problems with CBC. Like when I was contacted by them, they said, we want to do a story on Apple about this, that, or the other. They didn't say, you know, they made it... how do I put this? They made it obvious that they kind of had the idea what the outcome was going to be before they did the story. Now, don't get me wrong. What they did was truthful. They showed up to an Apple store and put a camera up of what they say after examining a machine that I examined that had no fucking dead. They brought the machine to me to have me fix it. I am not mad at that piece because what they did, what they reported was truthful. But did they go into that with the idea that Apple is going to do the right thing? No. Did Apple earn that? Maybe, maybe not. But, you know, maybe Apple has not earned the trust of people when it comes to that stuff. Maybe that's why nobody gave him benefit of the doubt. Oh, fucking drop frames. I gotta lower the bit rate again. Excuse me. I think the biggest thing that pisses me off is when people assume that someone who disagrees with them, it's not that they have a different idea of how to achieve prosperity, it's that they want to ruin your life. Why can't it simply be that we have a disagreement on how to achieve a positive goal? Why does it have to be that because we have a different idea on how to achieve a positive goal, that I hate you? And that's just always pissed me the fuck off a lot. For example, you know, I've spoken about why I don't believe in high minimum wage laws, and I've also spoken about why I don't even necessarily really believe in that much of a minimum wage, and I've stood behind it. But at the same time, people will go, well, how can you not believe in a minimum wage law when it is that you pay people, you know, typically at least $5 to $15 above minimum wage, even if they're starting at the shit ends of the jobs that you offer. You know, that doesn't mean that not believing in that does not mean I want people to be poor. It means I simply have a different idea on how people will progress and how jobs will be available and what opportunities will be available based on limitations. Doesn't, like when I've met people that say, you know, when I hear people that say like, oh, you don't want minimum wage to be higher, you must want people to get paid less. It's like, fucker. Okay. Show me your 11 employees that start off, even if they are low skilled and at the bottom of the spectrum, and they're not even 20 years old yet, at fucking 20% over minimum wage. You show me what you built. You show me how many people you've paid. Oh, exactly. You don't. So go fuck yourself. Or like for a lot of and for the other positions here, you know, find me 10 repair shops that do the same thing. List the positions of the employees, list what they do, list the level to which they do it, and then list their salary, and then compare it here. Yeah, fuck you. And then they'll say, well, you don't believe in this specific implementation of this law, therefore you hate the working class. It's like, dude, I've paid the working class more money in a year than you will in your lifetime. That stuff drives me fucking crazy. I don't assume that the people that disagree with me you know, hate certain groups of people. They just have a different idea on how to achieve something. Okay, is the video stuck but with audio? That is Time Warner cable. Minimum wage in New York right now, I believe, is $13.50. Yeah, it's $13.50. Yeah, it's $13.50 if you're not at a restaurant. $15 an hour if it is a restaurant. I don't have a single employee right now that makes under 20, and that includes if you are an 18 or 19-year-old with virtually no experience doing the lowest level job that Amazon would probably pay you fucking $11 an hour for. And if you do have half a fucking brain, I don't care if you have a college diploma, I don't care if you dress nice, I don't care if you have a nice resume. Here, take 25, take 30, take 32. Oh, but Louis, you don't agree with this specific minimum wage law. You want people to be poor. Suck my ass. All right, so that being said, yeah, let's inject some voltage into this board and see what happens. So it seems like the board does not, even though there was a short on that line, is not actually putting any voltage into it. So did I solder to the wrong place? Is my wire not attached? Ahem. Piece of shit. Tell me this wire doesn't work. Tell me I hooked it up the wrong way. Yeah, it's using 0 amps. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I have no trust that corporations or companies would pay a reasonable wage. Oh, damn straight. I don't trust them either. Fuck that. I don't trust them either. I don't trust a lot of companies to pay a good wage. That's why I will come in and I will find people that are doing a good job, that are getting underpaid, and go, you make $2,000 a day for your company, and they pay you $100 a day. I'll give you $300 to come here and make me $2,000 a day. You know why I do that? Because I'm a greedy asshole. I don't care if the other company now has to retrain somebody. I don't care if the guy that made $100 a day, that I'm offering $300 a day to, I don't care if that company now has to find somebody with no notice because I stole them. Doesn't bother my conscience one bit. Because I am greedy, I will go around and go, where are the smart people? Are you being underpaid? Here, come here. Okay, why the fuck is this using 0 amps? This is pissing. What am I doing? I'm spending too much time bitching in my chat. I'm happy when companies don't pay and at least in my field, I'm happy when my competitors don't pay a living wage. You deal with training the employee. You deal with dealing with their fuck-ups. You deal with getting them accustomed to how the business works so that I can scoop them up and not have to train them. It's much easier. Zero effect, I just was out of stock for a few weeks, but I remember that pissing me off. Audio is out of sync. Test. It shows up in sync in Open Broadcaster, so there's not much I can do. Conservatives don't lean into being ranting lunatics like liberals do. Yes, I do. I'm a conservative, and I just became a lunatic. You heard me. For 90 seconds. Pure rage! Rage! Rage against the cage. Rage against the machine. All right, so firstly, do I even have 3 volts at this point? Do I even have 3 volts at the point that I just soldered to? Oh my god, I soldered 3 volts to a fucking camera data line that's not even connected. Oh my god, suka balat. Fuck you all, you're distracting me. You are all distracting me with your chat. That's not where this fucking wire goes. Damn you! Look at me blame chat when I should be blaming myself. I take no personal accountability. I'm fucking stupid. You know what I am? I'm dumb. Hi, I'm Lewis. I can't even solder the wire to the right pad on the board. Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? I tie a rope around my pee-pee bus and I jump from a tree. Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? I tie a rope to my pee-pee bus and jump from a tree. Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? Just like me. Alright. I tie a rope to my pee-pee bus and jump from a tree. Don't worry, Luce, we already knew you were dumb. I try to make sure there's no false advertising on this channel. Okay, at 0.8 volts, it's taking 5 amps. At 1 volt, it's taking 4.7 amps. So I should not have to get the thermal camera to find this short. This should become very obvious from just touching the board. So we're going to take a little trip around the board and see what burns my finger. What burns my finger? You sound like a progressive not taking responsibility. Oh, for fuck's sake. Stop being a meme lord. And stop demonizing people who think different than you do. It's no good for you. I tie a rope around my pee-pee bus and jump from a tree. Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? Okay, so we have a little bit of warmth over here. My CPU is cold. My PCH is cold. This is cold. You know, the way that I met Jessa Jones, by the way... Shit, my wire came off. I met Jessa Jones because we were at CTIA, and we were the only 2 people in the room at this E-Tech parts event. E-Tech... Okay, we're just not going to show that part into the microscope, where I ripped the wire off of the board. The thing that was interesting is that we were the only people there that actually used our faces to find shorts in the board, because the skin on your face is much more sensitive. Especially on your lips. So we would use the side of our face to find shorts in the board before we had a thermal camera. And Jessa and I met based on that. And we got along very well since. I like Jessa. Jessa's another person that where we disagree on virtually everything, but we can still have conversations with each other, which is very important to do. People have to talk to each other. Alright, so I think this is the chip that's getting boiling hot, but there's one way to find out, which is to Put a little bit of alcohol on it and see what it does. Okay, it doesn't, even though this area was getting warm, that's probably not it. I think I'm just gonna give up and use the Please Bro camera. Yeah, fuck it. You win, board. I get a goddamn thermal camera. Piece of shit. You're making me get up. I have to do work. Cardio. How long the store is. Gotta walk to the end of it. It's awful. It's awful. Whoa. Almost slipped. Okay. Let me get myself an Ethernet cord and a thermal camera. I should just buy another thermal camera. I really don't want to spend $900 on this thing, though. It's, again, I'm going to be getting another store for $6,700 a month. I spent $8,000 on all the new stuff for Steve's data recovery. I spent a few $1,000 on more video recording stuff, lenses, cameras, LTE backups, and I won't spend money to get a thermal camera, so I have to walk from one side to the other. Human laziness can be really irrational sometimes. It's always strange with the places that I choose to spend money and the places I say I will never spend money. It's just always interesting to me just to think about where it is I choose to cheap out and how stupid it is. Imagine if this was already here and in a nice little enclosure that I could just wheel around or move around so that it was fit exactly where I wanted it to. Okay. So we're about to pray to the Thermal Pepe god. I'm going to say, hi, Thermal Pepe. E.C. Morgan says, need more super chats. Lewis can pay for the new Steve Savers upgrades. Steve Savers. Okay. Yeah. I don't think Steve was expecting that I was going to register that domain name or that it was going to be available. But it was, and I am. Okay, so let's bring this in here. Thermal Pepe! Thermal Pepe. Do I have the Thermal Pepe software? Alright, Thermal Pepe software. So it's clearly over here. Okay, so I was close. I was close. Close but no cigar. I was close because I was looking over here at the CPU V-core chip, but it's actually something right up here. And you can see it's obviously going to be the 73 Celsius thing over there. So we are going to click, and yeah, it's right there. So now let's take a look at what that is. I'm going to get the microscope camera running, and we're going to try to narrow down what that is with some alcohol. Or as some like to call it, alkalols. Okay. So what is in this area that's on PP3v3SO? So we're going to take a look over here, and I am going to have the board view software open, and we are going to see everything that is on PP3v3SO. Now here's the interesting thing over here, folks. If you look on the board view, you'll notice that there's nothing on PP3v3SO over here. Nothing here is on PP3v3SO. So how is it that an area that has nothing on PP3v3SO can be burning when I inject voltage into PP3v3SO? Okay, I'm kind of dumbfounded here. Maybe I'm not just dumb. Maybe I'm just plain dumb. Let's reattach my little burning wire. Luckily that circuit's not for anything important. That's for some camera. Who needs a camera? Why does a MacBook need a camera? You don't need that to get the fan to spin. That is genuinely unnecessary in the pursuit of fan spin. I gotta see if there's anything larger that I can put this on. Excuse me. Yes. Okay, now we're going to see what was burning up in this area over here. See what was... Now, what is this capacitor for? That is the one that seems to be getting hot. What are you? PP3V3 S3 RSO camera. Bam. You're gone. You're dead. You're effing dead to me. Get off of... You are dead.
Get the fuck up. Get the fuck
That's great. Now get the fuck out of here. That's great. Now get the fuck out of here. That's great. Now get the fuck out of here.
Damn, the cat just came right off the board with the stuff. Now we're using 200 milliamps at 2.4 volts, and if I raise the voltage to 3.0, we're using 0.4 amps. Now, 0.4 amps, hey, I was talking. 0.4 amps, it means that that means that we're using about 1.5 watts, which this is on an SO rail, so it's probably powering things that are always going to be using power, even if the machine is not even if I'm not manually turning the machine on. So I think that we may be at a point where we solved our short, and I'm just going to unplug my power supply and see what happens if I plug in a MagSafe and see if we're able to make the fans do the spinning thing. Let's see if the fan does the spinning dance. I need 18 volts in my power supply. Okay, we're going to put 17 volts into my MagSafe. Plug you in. And we're getting 900 milliamps being taken at 17 volts. $900 milliamps is quite a bit to be taking if it's not turning on. But we're not getting fan spin, which is strange. Very strange. Okay, so now one thing I'm interested in is PP3V3SO actually working? So we're going to turn on our multimeter software. Are we getting stuff like CPU vCore? GPU vCore? No. Let's peel this off so we can see the CPU vCore MOSFETs. No. Are we getting PP3V3SO at this point, at least? That was the rail we were missing before. PP3V3SO I can find down here. Interesting. This looks different than the board that I have in front of me. Ah, here we go. Looking at the wrong spot. So this is going to be PP3V3SO over here. Get the ground over there, and you here. Interesting. We get 0 volts on PP3V3SO. Well, am I still shorted? I suppose that's the question. Let's see if my short circuit is still there. Our short circuit is still there. Very interesting. Well, what the hell else are you going to be? Alright, let's put our 3 volts back in there, and we're going to blow this short up. No more mercy. No more Mr. Nice heat injection. We're going to blow this shit up. We're gonna blow this. Oh. I was gonna put back a resistor that I may have knocked off. Need to find a more secure point to solder MPP33S5 wire to. Everybody pray to the thermal Pepe. Wait a second, this is bullshit. That doesn't... This doesn't go to the fucking PCH. There's no PP3v3SO. PP3v3SO is never on the PCH. Wait, never mind, it is. It is. Okay, never mind, fuck that. Pause board. Yep, have fun, Paul. It rubs the lotion on its PCH or else it gets the voltage again. It rubs the lotion on its PCH or else it gets the voltage again. It rubs the lotion on its PCH or else it gets the voltage again. It rubs the lotion on its face or else it gets the voltage again. It rubs the lotion on its face or else it gets the voltage again. No, that music is not free to use. It doesn't matter how old it is. The dead composer will get you for a copyright strike. Been watching you for a while now. Board repair is one hell of a drug. Thank you. Good stuff, Geotech. Alright, I'm going to take a look and see if that board that we ultrasonicked has made any progress. So there was the board yesterday that had generalized corrosion everywhere. And we are going to see what happened after an ultrasonic and a drying. Let's see if it still takes 0 amps at 20 volts or if we have made any progress. 20 volts, 100 milliamps, 20 volts, 100 milliamps, 200 milliamps. And then dead. So Ultrasonic has not done anything for this at all. This is also a board that I have no schematic for, an 820-01041. Wow, that's loud. Seeing this get copyrighted, can we play Mask of Zorro? I don't have Mask of Zorro. Thank you, though, Zero Effect. I appreciate that. Let's see if we can find the schematic for this. 820. There's 01041 schematic. First result is my shitty forum. Need board view. This is not the right one. Google, what the fuck? I searched for this. I'm not sure what is broken. So I find chip and I reflow. I'm using the dum-dum section of my brain. This is dum-dum section. So he doesn't even look at chat when he works. Oh, I look at chat, I just don't look at yours specifically. I have it out for you. I have it out for you as a human being. The same way your 4th grade teacher that banned you from the regional spelling bee did. I reflow.
Get the fuck out of my store. Get the fuck out of my store. Get the fuck out of my store. Get the fuck out of my store.
Oh my god, we have people in Twitch that are ridiculous crybabies. Holy fuck, you are salty. Go away. That is way too much salt for a live stream viewer. Okay, let's see. Let's see, so what are we getting here? Do we get enable? Now this is a TPS 51980, so pin 4 is going to be enable, I believe, and pin 2 is going to be voltage out. Or the other way around, I forget, but either way, let's see. 10.2 volts? What?
Get the fuck out of my store.
Moron. Moron. That's great. Now get the fuck out of here. That's great. Now get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of my store.
So the enable is there, so PM Sleep S4L's got to be here. PP5V S4 is there. The thing is, I don't know where the hell any of the other rails on this computer are. Nor where to find them. So where am I going to find the other rails? There's no schematic. Power cycling, no schematic. Oh joy. The hard part is over. PM Sleep S5L and S4L are present. Something had to get on the CPU V-core chip at one point or another. That's a big set of pubes right there. This chip had something on it. Wonder if V-core was looping in the beginning. I'm going to look on the schematic for an older version of this and see if the enable for CPU V-core was coming on in the very beginning. Why is my Twitch chat turning into YouTube chat? Okay, let's open up Schematic and board view. So the enable pin is one of the ones over here. CPU VREN, here we go. So this chip, that pin. Let's see if when I first plug this in, if CPU vCore enable or GPU vCore enables spikes. Right. When we first plug this thing in, it usually gives us a couple of 1 to 200 milliamp spikes, and what I'm interested in is seeing if any of those spikes coincide with this enabling CPU or GPU vCore. So if we're getting at least some sort of spike on ALSYS power good, then there's a chance. But if we don't get any spikes on ALSYS power good without a schematic, this board gets relegated to the depths of Paul. The depths of Paul. Who's likely watching the stream and wondering why he's not getting a different job. Oh, jeez. Anybody have a schematic? Anybody have a schematic? Holy crap. What a loser with the Jesus Christ. My God, Twitch is filled with losers tonight. What a sad sack of shit. Okay. I am going to work on one other board. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to play Street Fighter and fuck all this. Okay, so we had two boards here that were very depressing. One board had a short circuit on a single capacitor, and we removed that capacitor, and then it became a short on a PCH power chip. That sucks. The second issue that we had was a board that has no schematic, no board view, no signs of corrosion, no ALSYS power good pulsing, even though PM Sleep S4L and PM Sleep S5L are present. I would love to go through this board and measure its rails and try to figure out what's going on here. The problem is that I can't really do that because I need more brains. I need more schematic. So, here's what I will ask of you. If you can scour the world and find an 820-01041-A schematic, do not email it to me, because that would be immoral, unethical, and wrong. My email address is lewis@rossmangroup.com. It's LOUIS@rossmangroup.com, spelled with 2 S's and 2 N's. Do not email it to me. That would be wrong. That would be wrong. And it would not allow me to solve this MacBook motherboard. It would not allow me to fix this board. I mean, it would allow me to fix this board if you sent me that schematic. I would be able to give this customer who does not have their data because Apple decided to remove the lifeboat connector from the board that allows you to grab data from boards that have the missing lifeboat ports, from boards that don't turn on it. I would be able to grab that data if you gave me that schematic. But that would be wrong because being able to recover data is wrong, because being able to fix these devices is wrong, because knowing what is what on the board is wrong. So don't email me a schematic for an 820-01041. If you have access to an 820-01041 schematic, don't email it to me. If you happen to know that it's sitting on a computer right next to you at the office that you work on, don't copy it off that computer and email it to me, because that would be wrong. Wrong. Haha's moderating leaves something to be desired here. Okay, so I need to do here in order to retain my sanity is I'm going to retain my sanity by avoiding Sean Hannity. Now I'm going to retain my sanity by taking this machine and telling it to go F itself until I can not be sent a schematic, because being sent a schematic would be wrong. I should upload that video to the main YouTube channel. Yeah, I think I will. I just have to edit that out of that piece, and then I can upload it. I think I will. I don't want my kids growing up in a world populated by dipshits like you. I think I will. Allow me to solve this MacBook motherboard. It would not, because that would be immoral. That I can't really, no signs of corrosion. Okay, so we had two boards here that were very depressing. One board had a short circuit on a single capacitor, and we removed that. Okay, so we had two. Anybody have a schematic? Anybody have a schematic? Holy crap. What a loser with the G. I am going to work on boards here that were very depressing. One board had a short circuit on a single capacitor, and we removed it. So we had two boards here that were very depressing. One schematic doesn't. I need more brains. 010 MacBook motherboard. It would not a lifeboat connector from the board that allows you to grab data from board to me. If you happen to know that it's sitting on a computer right next to you at the office that you work on, don't copy it off that computer and email it to me, because that would be wrong. Okay, so we had two boards here that were very depressing. Okay, so we had. Wrong. I don't drink coffee. I don't take any sort of caffeine. I do have bad sleep schedules because it's very difficult for me to fall asleep. So there are a lot of times where I am dead tired, but if I'm dead tired, I just wake up and get started with my day. Because caffeine, it makes me incredibly anxious. My mother had an anxiety disorder for most of her life, and she wound up working herself into enough stress to go kill herself. My grandmother, on the opposite side, was always stressed out, always very anxious, was in mental hospitals for it, and she wound up dying of a stroke from stress. So when I try anything caffeine, or whether it's an espresso, cappuccino, even teas with caffeine, it causes me anxiety. And since I don't want to be dead anytime soon, I make a conscious a conscious decision to not do or intake any caffeine. Okay, so this is going to go in slot E19. We are going to grab something that's not depressing. Let's grab something that's not depressing. Hi, where does that number go? Hi, did you seriously create a number for this shit? Hi said if you want to contact someone about your band, don't delay. Call the I Got Banned from Lewis's channel hotline today. What do you drink then for breakfast or whatever? I drink water. Thank you for the 1,000 kelps. Kelps? Isn't that some sort of seaweed? Did you just pay me in seaweed? But thank you very much. I highly appreciate the seaweed. Listen, I'm not picky. I'll take just about anything somebody's willing to give me.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Asshole who was banned on Twitch with no life.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Fuck you for banning me, hi, you asshole. You think you're cool, don't you? When you kick people out of the Twitch chat. I tell you this. 1 in 3 Americans is gonna die of cancer. You know? Asshole? You gonna be one of those. I didn't have the courage to kick your ass directly. I didn't have enough courage for that, hi. But I could, you know? You know you're gonna have another accident? You know I'm involved with black magic? Fuck you. Die, bastard. You think you're so cool, asshole. And if I ever see your fucking face around in 186 First Avenue, well, I'll tell you. That time, I'm gonna kick your ass. Fuck you. Fucking Americans. Yankee, you're gonna die of a cancer, I promise. Deep pain. No one knows what you did to me when you banned me from Twitch. You wanna know something? Fuck you. I want your balls mashed. Eat shit, you bastard. Peso de mierda, figlio de putana. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. I've left worse voicemails for employees before.
What's up, my brother? How are you, sir? You good? What time we gotta come? 10 o'clock.
Hello.
I got banned from Lease's hotline. How can I help you?
You think you're so cool, right? Hmm? When you kicked me out of the Twitch? I tell you this. 1 in 3 high-highs is dying out of cancer. You know? Asshole? 1 in 3 of Lewis's employees is dying out of cancer. You know? From shitty Atlantis health plan. You're gonna be one of those. Next time I have you go to the basement to get quicks on that staircase that hasn't been changed since 1911. You know you're gonna have another accident? Fuck you. I want your balls mashed. Eat shit, bastard. Peso de mierda. Figlio di putana. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. Let's fix another MacBook. Figlio de putana. I'm a shit Italian. I don't even know what that means. Be right back. Already another board. Figlio de putana. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. I gotta put that in the desk. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. Someone walks in and goes, "Hi, I have a 2011 GPU. Can you fix it?" I hit a button. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. Can I get a discount on iPhone screen repair? I hope somebody in your family dies soon. Maybe overkill, but, you know, it'll get the idea. Figlio de putana, piece de mierda. Sounds much cooler than suka billet. I want to learn how to say more of this stuff in other languages. It's fun. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. Guy's really pissed off. That guy was really angry at Maynard. Wonder why he was so angry with Maynard. You know Maynard's involved with black magic as well, mofo? You know Maynard could probably kick your ass directly. He does jujitsu. Sure, Maynard could have. I'm pretty certain that Maynard could kick the fuck out of that guy. Then again, Maynard looks like somebody who had a bit of a prescription drug obsession. Painkiller thing. I hope somebody in your family dies soon. Piece de mierda. You know you're going to have another. Did I just hear my phone go off? I did, didn't I? I don't know where I actually put my phone. Okay, what I'm going to do now in order to retain my sanity is I am going to completely forget what went on for the past 2 hours. And we are going to focus on something new and fresh. And I'm also going to clean every single element of my desk as I go. I'm not going to focus on grabbing new stuff. I'm just going to focus on what's here. So once I have a clean queue, then I will have a clean desk. Then I will have a clean mind. And once I have a clean mind, I'll be set. So this is going to... Let's see what we can do here, because sometimes when you get a bad cue, it can genuinely fuck with your mind, and it does destroy your ability to work on these things. I live on the Upper West Side. Your shop is kind of far, but I guess I should come by and steal the tip jar and complain about labels. I bet it will be fun. Actually, if you want to help me build a proper water cooling rig, then that would be fun. I have a bunch of parts sitting here that I have not done anything with. I'm not sure how you would build a water cooling loop, though, while I was streaming. Yeah, if somebody walked in right now and said, "Hi, can I put a water cooling loop in your Threadripper from the box?" I'd probably let that happen. I'd be cool with that. There's my phone. I have to... Here we have a MacBook that needs to be fixed. This is an A1502 MacBook that's not powering on. We can open up this A1502 MacBook and try to figure out why it's not powering on, and see if we can figure out why it's not powering on. Because the last 2 boards genuinely trolled me for quite a bit of time, destroyed my confidence, my resolve, my brain, my emotional my emotional stability. Ruined everything. And I'm hoping that this board will be the opposite. God forbid I go through for an hour what Paul goes through every single day. Hell no. Alright, so I'm just going to get a tool that I can use to clean my desk. I need to... God damn, it smells like some potent weed outside. Holy crap, that is potent marijuana. Jeez. Excuse me. I really need to get a better stand for that camera on the desk. That shaking is terrible. I missed something. Could you give a shout out to Burrito Rex? I don't know who Burrito Rex is, and the problem is if I give a shout out to somebody without knowing who they are, God forbid they're a pedophile or some crazy person that I just didn't do any research on before shouting out, that could be very bad. Because I watched the video where PewDiePie wound up promoting the person who was actually a Nazi, and the lesson that I learned from that is do your research on an individual before giving them a shout out on the internet. Because that can go badly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unplug the battery in this MacBook. Then I'm going to plug in my MagSafe. And it appears that this takes 1 amp. And it appears that the fan spins. Let's see if it gives us a light in the screen. I'm just going to quickly cycle this so it doesn't think that it was falling asleep. fan is spinning. But the screen is not spinning. That's not my landlord not wanting to bring FiOS in my building. That's FiOS not wanting to bring FiOS onto this block. This entire block doesn't have FiOS, and that's not... There are times where landlords do things that are messed up, and this is not it. This is just Verizon being a bunch of douchebags. Okay, so we're not getting a question mark folder. So my first question here is going to be, is the screen actually turning on? Now, when the screen is turned on, you're going to have 5 volts powering it, and then there's going to be another 40 volts or so for backlight. So it seems that the screen is being told to turn on. Now we're going to check out backlight and see if it has a light. And it appears this machine does not have a backlight on the screen. None at all. I'm also curious if it's booted into an operating system. I'm going to hit the caps lock key. And it's got some sort of brain here because when I hit the caps lock key it is working. So this may actually be nothing other than a bad screen. Now let's see, why is the backlight not on? Is it a bad screen? Do we have a short to ground on backlight circuit? No, there's no short to ground on backlight circuit. Do we have a bent pin in the connector? Wouldn't want to be a genius bar and tell this person $2,000 because I'm an idiot who doesn't have eyes. Looks fine to me. Okay. We're going to try a different screen. What really sucks, what really sucks is that when you leave the subway on 14th Street and 1st Avenue, there is a FiOS truck speaking about the benefits of FiOS, trying to get people to sign up for FiOS, handing out flyers. And there's no FiOS on 1st Avenue and 12th Street. So when I see him parked there, promoting this shit, parked where if I were to park, I would get a ticket. I want to take his truck, I want to set it on fire, and I want to dance on him as he burns. Because he's advertising FiOS 2 blocks away, because 2 blocks away there is FiOS, but here there is not. In spite of the fact that it's been several years after the point at which Verizon had to have gotten everything wired in the city as a result, as per their agreement and arrangement. And not only is there a FiOS truck on 14th Street and 1st Avenue, there is not even DSL from Verizon in my fucking building because they don't want to come and redo the wiring that's leading up to the building because they're cunts. I want to pay somebody to stand right next to the FiOS man and just yell at him the entire day. I would actually do that. It would be worth it to me. Because they have those people like for the Subway sandwich places that wear the sandwich boards or the A boards, or for the iPhone screen repair places that wear the A boards that say, you know, get your phone fixed over here. I would want to have somebody stand next to the Verizon man wearing a sign saying, FiOS, these fucks haven't even fixed the wiring for DSL. You broke your agreement with the city. Fuck you. And I would want him to just sit there and harass the guy for a good straight 8 hours. Because when I get off at the subway, he harasses me to tell me about, have I heard about FiOS? So I don't see why it would be wrong to... You're gonna die, fucker. Second Amendment takes priority over veganism for me. Don't you land on my ear, fly. I will fuck you up. Actually, this is not poison enough. This is lens cleaner. We need Windex. Something nice and poisonous. I'm gonna get something nice and poisonous for this little fuckface fly while I am looking for the screen that I'm going to use to test this with. Aha, I think I got this little fucker. I got you. I'm going to get you, you little bastard. Aha! Fuck you! Landing on my ear, you little cunt. Die! Bastard! Piece de mierda! I hope somebody in your family dies soon. You know you're going to have another accident fly? Yeah, property rights and Second Amendment trump veganism for me. Do I eat animals? No. Do I eat animal products? No. Do I wear animal products? No. If an animal that I have swatted away tries to fucking land on me and then buzz in my ear while I'm doing a stream, nah, bro. Second Amendment comes out. This is my property. My property. This is my house, mofo. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I need an A1502 tester for 2013-14, and it seems that I have one here. Beautiful. Yeah. That fly got Windexed. I have not, hi. I actually forget what the address of the new store is. That's just mean, Lewis. That guy is just trying to make a living. He doesn't get paid to make decisions on who fixes what wires. I don't care. He's making a living. He's making his money by tossing in my face that I can't get FiOS, but somebody one block away can. I don't fucking care. They're just trying to make a living. They're just trying to make a living. The people at Atlantis Healthcare that sold people shit plans that they knew were bad were just trying to make a living. The SS men were just trying to make a living. The accountants at Enron were just trying to make a living. I don't fucking care. The genius that tells you that it's $2,000 to fix your MacBook, $2,000 for a bent pin. He's just trying to make a living. The customs agent that takes my batteries and says they're counterfeit when they're not is just trying to make a living. The lobbyist that suggests that I should not be, so that a repair should be considered, or refurbishing should be considered counterfeiting. They're just trying to make a living. Make a living doing something else. Your living is paid for by me paying over $100 a month for 700 kilobit per second upload. If that works on your conscience, then if that is fine with your conscience, then I don't understand why pointing out that your company sucks should be a weight on mine. Now, as you can see, this does have an Apple logo, which means most likely bad screen or bad screen cable. We will figure out which of the two it is. We are not just going to tell the customer you need a new screen, you need a new entire assembly because we are too lazy to open it up, because just to make a living. Because just making a living, supporting a company that has crappy policies, that's no way to make a living. I need to make a living. I need to pay rent. I need to pay 11 employees, soon to be 12, and rent on a new space. And have money to pay for the new data recovery stuff that I got, and money to pay for all this stuff that I got to record the new data recovery stuff. I just want to make a living too. You know what helps me make a living? What helps me make a living is when I'm actually able to fucking stream the content that I'm creating because my internet is not garbage. But my internet is garbage because Spectrum was allowed to have this little regional monopoly because the city said, well, Verizon Fios is going to be competing with them, so it won't be a monopoly. The reason that Spectrum can charge me $480 a month and shove a spiked dildo up my ass to the point where 2 out of 5 times a week I am unable to stream or advertise my business or teach or do any of the things that actually make me money. The reason that I'm not able to take credit cards for several hours every fucking week when people, and I have to just tell people here, fuck it, just take it, it's free, it's only a $30, $50 thing anyway, I don't want to deal with the trouble or hassle of sending you to an ATM. The reason I have to do that is because they didn't do their fucking job. So when somebody who is a paid shill of the company, whose activities are costing me money, and costing me time, costing me sanity, are out there being paid shills for that company, I am going to hold them accountable for the fact that that's how they just make their living. Fuck him, fuck them, and fuck people who defend that. That being said, this was just a bad screen. On to the next MacBook. Okay. On to the next MacBook. How many people would like to make a living wage to sit on a street corner and hand out flyers? I made $6 an hour to put price tags on basketballs in an aluminum side roofed building with no air conditioning in the middle of summer wearing a polyester jersey. That's what I had to do to make probably 1/6 of what the individual who's being a shill for a company that doesn't stand up for their agreements, that has the balls to advertise outside my fucking store when they haven't lived up to their end of the agreement. That they're allowed to get away with it. I'm supposed to care about his living now. Really? Poor him! Fuck out of here. Okay, next MacBook. The US is light years behind basically every other developed country in terms of internet speeds. That's one of those things where people... Okay, let's just take a look at a map of Earth, right? Oh, wait, let's just take a look at United States. Not a map of Earth. I mean, who am I kidding? Okay. Now here, I'm going to get more shit for defending America again. Okay, you ready? Let's take a look at Europe. Europe This is a country. This little thing that's barely the size of my pointer is a country. This thing that's the size of like 2 of my pointers is a country. This little island that's the size of 1.5 of my pointers is a country. This 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 is a country. Now, let's take a look at the population of some of these countries. So let's take a look at, let's say, Slovakia. Slovakia has 5.4 million people in a space that's barely the size of my cursor. Now, if we look at United States, let's take a look at something like Wyoming. Wyoming is about the size of 3 of my cursors. %, the amount of people, and 3 times the space. Now let's look at some other countries. Let's look at countries in Central America. Size of my pointer, size of my pointer, size of my pointer, size of my pointer. Even Africa. Size of my pointer, size of 4 of my pointers, size of 3 of my pointers. Asia. Look, size of 3 of my pointers, size of like 1/4 of my pointer, size of 2 of my pointers. Now let's look at the United States. Size of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 12. You get the idea. Now, what do you think is easier to wire? Romania or the United States? The United States is a landmass that is very, very spread out. And there are very large sections of the United States that don't have a lot of population. Now you may wonder, Lewis, what about New York? New York is a very concentrated space with a lot of people in it. But New York has a government that is run by scumbags. And people keep voting for the scumbags. And the people who don't like the scumbags who are in our government in New York right now are so cynical and jaded that they don't go out to vote against them. Which is why that you still have Cuomo and de Blasio and all of these other fuckfaces that don't actually get anything done. New York's government is very, very corrupt, very, very stupid, very, very inefficient at getting anything done, which is why, and very good at keeping new things out. E-bikes, fuck you. New services, fuck you. They fought over Uber. They fought over all these things. Let's keep out all the new shit, but let's ensure that what already exists sucks as much as possible. New York government is excellent at ensuring that old shit continues to suck as much as possible, while simultaneously making it very difficult to actually build or implement any new shit. New York is the asshole of America. The worst people from America come from New York. I was born here. I'm fully aware. Now, it is possible to do better. We can do better. But you have to keep in mind, when looking at the size of other countries in the globe, that when you look at, again, you look at Australia, and if you start to look at Australia, and then you start to look at the amount of people in the certain areas of Australia that are there, then you understand why people like Paul Daniels have such garbage internet. It's easy to simply sit there and laugh and go, ha ha, US broadband sucks, and a lot of it does suck. But when we say, I don't understand. I don't understand why you just don't have broadband that's as good as it is in my tiny little plots of land over here when you have this landmass. It's one of... Do you globe? Do you even globe? Do you even Google Map? Do you even Google Map, bro? I would highly suggest that you Google Map a little bit, bro. And stop voting for de Blasio and Cuomo. For fuck's sake. If New York has any chance of not being a shithole for the rest of its time of existing prior to falling so far into debt and refuse that everybody has moved off to Florida, please stop voting for these fuckfaces. Please. Anybody. I'll take anybody. Earth is flat, Google lies. Well, got me. Compare Dingo Land, I dare you. Paul Daniels' internet is not the best. Okay. We are going to fix another MacBook. But first, we leave notes on this one. And we put everything back. I'm going to look at the other touch bar that is in my queue here. And then we go from there. MacBook. MacBook. MacBookity. Book Mac. MacBook. 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 Book Mac. I don't think it was a loose connector. He said he was going to test for the screen and for the connector, and if it was the screen... Huh? But yeah, it's either the screen or the screen cable. That's going to be for somebody else to check out. What's the point of gloves if he keeps touching his face with them? I touch the board with this side of the glove. I touch my face with this side of the glove. This is different from this. This is different from this. The earth is not flat, nor is my finger. And since my IQ is above room temperature, I'm able to keep track in real time of whether I'm touching my face with this side or this side. The more you know. The more you know. Now, I'm not a surgeon. I don't have to care. Okay. This one is actually fixed. Back. I don't wear the gloves to keep bacteria off of me. I wear them to keep the flux and dirt from when I specifically touch a machine off of me. There's bacteria everywhere. There's no way in hell I'm avoiding bacteria getting on me. We are going to find something that is fixable, and we are going to fix it. It's going to be magnificent. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before. I wish you luck in finding that board view because we all know it's immoral and ethical and wrong. Well, it's a good thing you have your ethics and morals correct. Today we're going to be working on yet another dead MacBook. Here we have an A1706 MacBook, whose airbags have popped out. As you can see, airbags. In addition to the airbags popping out, this MacBook also does not power on. First thing I want to do here is take a look at the board of this MacBook and see if there's anything on it other than just the battery's airbags popping out that are keeping it from turning on. Thank you very much to Dislock. I'm going to get the More You Know music. The first thing we're going to do is unplug the battery. We're not simply going to unplug the battery because it's expanding. We're also going to unplug the battery because the battery is going to take a different amount of amperage depending on how charged it is from the board's charging circuit, which means the board itself is going to use different amounts of amperage based on an independent variable of the state of the machine, which is how charged the battery is. That is independent of whether or not pieces of the machine are actually doing their job or working. So, by disconnecting the battery, I'm going to be able to tell exactly how much amperage the machine by itself is taking, and then I'll be able to ascertain what it is I should be doing here. Because remember, different amperage is taken, different values for the amps that the machine is taking mean different things. Now, this machine is taking 20 volts at 700 milliamps, which means it's most likely turning on. So I am going to unplug this and plug it back in just to give the machine a chance again to think that it is open and see if we get either a question mark folder or an Apple logo. As you can see, we have an Apple logo. So the idea that this does not turn on, well, it does. It most likely needs an ultrasonic cleaning and a battery. Unfortunately, this one's going to be boring as well, because watching me replace a battery would be boring. And watching me get this ready for ultrasonic would also be boring. So this is going to be put in a slot with notes, and then one of the people who does all the boring things is going to go over this one